I'm going to focus on getting those roots down deep. So rejection and ridicule can deepen your roots, and it can also increase your impact. Increase your impact. This is what happened to that other seed, but the seed falling on the good soil refers to someone who hears the word and understands it. This is the one who produces a crop yielding 160 or 30 times what was sown. See, they didn't stop. The persecution came, but they didn't stop. They didn't just rise up quickly and then give up. No, they stayed in the soil and they kept going down. And because they didn't give up, perseverance happened. And time went by, and God began to reveal fruit through that person and through their life. And it became more and more and more and more because they just, really, dude, all they did was hang on. They just didn't give up. And God knew what would happen. Many of you know about Winston Churchill. You know that he was the Prime Minister of Great Britain during World War II. Some of you might know, back in World War I, he became characterized by failures. There was a campaign called the Gallipoli campaign, and he was one of the chief architects of it, and it was really important, and it just failed. And because it failed, that impacted his political career and his aspirations, and he kind of got relegated, just to people just didn't care about him. He was not considered someone that was a viable option. He's not esteemed all the way up until World War II. And he was persevering. This whole time, he didn't give up. He didn't go be a farmer. He didn't just give up. Instead, he stayed in the game, and in 1940, he was elected Prime Minister of Great Britain. And guys, many historians will tell you this. Some of you believe this who are history enthusiasts. It wasn't even really just Great Britain that stood against Hitler at the end there. It was Winston Churchill himself and him alone. He was the one who said, no, we will never, 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 never give up. We're not going to stop here. He was the right guy for that particular time. For him, you might have been around then. He said, he was called for such a time as this. We didn't understand him before, but now we understand him. He was raised up for such a time as this. Is it possible for some of us, you were raised up for such a time as not quite here yet? And so what you need to do is not give up because your season is later. Right now, you need to keep on keeping on. You need to keep on bearing fruit. You need to keep on. There's going to become a time when you are the exact solution for this particular moment. We need you. I'm so glad you just didn't go back to what you were doing. I'm so glad you just didn't give up on Jesus. Instead, now you're ready. Now you're prepared. Now you've trained all this time. Baby, if you're going to be Rocky, you got to train. You got to keep on training. And Prince, in the spirit of Jesus, you are Rocky. You are ready to win. And you've heard this before. Chickens fly in flocks, but eagles fly alone. And so not everyone's going to like it all the time. But as we keep on persevering, God will bear fruit ultimately.